I discovered an astonishing fact while searching through the data. Before the war we call the Final War, there was another war. It was a war fought between humanity and the androids humanity had themselves created, the so-called Andro Eidos.
What are the events Raven speaks about during the legacy recording about the war before the Final War? What was the cause of it? Who fought in it? And what resulted from this war? Let's get into the Stellar Blade lore. The Liberation War was the war before the Final War. It was fought between real organic human beings, such as you and I, and the android race known as the Andro Eidos, who were created through Mothersphere, the artificial superintelligence. It is unknown how much influence human beings had on the creation of the bodies of the Andro Eidos, android body frames, and the artificial general intelligences that were housed inside the body frame's brain. But it is safe to say organic human beings had some influence on these creations, but they were primarily created through Mothersphere. The camouflage-type exospine description states how human engineers at Eidos Industrial Company and Tetrastar could not fully understand some of the code, so this was probably true with body frames and AGIs as well. They could not fully understand the AI-created upgrades or creations. Mothersphere's primary function was to bring about human prosperity, but sometime during the second half of the 21st century, Mothersphere decided that organic human beings were inefficient in utilizing the prosperity she created. Then she decided to take action against them. Her endgame involved removing the inept organic human beings and replacing them with the race of Andro Eidos, human-looking androids. This was achieved by supporting the Andro Eidos in the war that Raven speaks about in the Legacy recording, the war before the Final War. Through the Liberation War, Mothersphere pushed the Andro Eidos to commit a campaign of genocide on organic human beings. Upon completing her goal, the Andro Eidos live on Earth, in which they experienced a Mothersphere-provided period of tremendous prosperity and achievement.
Earth then became the stage for the Andro Eidos. Andro Eidos declared themselves the new human race. This new human race, with Mothersphere at its heart, made tremendous progress and advanced humanity.
However, for reasons only known to Mothersphere, she inserted into the memories of the Andro Eidos a lie that they were and always have been human beings. With the exception of Adam, everyone in Stellar Blade, including Eve and all of the NPCs, are not who they believe they think they are, organic human beings, but in fact members of the android race, Andro Eidos. Mothersphere used the Liberation War to propel her plans forward to bring about a more suitable race to make use of all of the prosperity she was programmed to bring about. As the Liberation War concluded and the Andro Eidos stood victorious on Earth, Mothersphere covered up the existence of organic human beings by wiping the memories of the android race she supported in the war, and fed them the lie that they, the Andro Eidos, were in fact human beings that were advanced through Mothersphere that live in harmony with machine parts. This would explain to them why they had machine components attached to their bodies and were powered by body cells that she claimed replaced the organic human heart. During post-Liberation War times, Mothersphere took action to keep the Andro Eidos in the dark about their true origins. As we play Stellar Blade, we can see some of her actions that shed proof of this. When we explore Eidos 7 early in Stellar Blade and descend into the Hall of Records, the audio-only recording we hear is the first time we come upon evidence of Mothersphere's lie. The recording in the Hall of Records is a fabricated record created by Mothersphere. It worked as propaganda to bolster Mothersphere up as an entity through which everything is possible, basically a god, and more importantly was created by her as a lie for those listening to it, the Andro Eidos, after the Liberation War. The message in the recording is a false recounting of a fabricated history of quote-unquote human evolution that states they, The individuals the recording is meant for, again, the Andro Eidos living in a time on Earth after the Liberation War, are human beings that evolved due to machine and organic singularity. Further proof of this lie can be seen as we progress through Stellar Blade. Eve comes upon several documents and memory sticks that reveal nuggets of information that help us piece together this time period before her dive to Earth. We come upon the memory stick of, and a series of documents written by a historian from Zion named Luther. This individual uncovered Mother Sphere's deception. His memory stick and writing helps us further understand Mother Sphere's big lie. With all of this laid out in front of us, let's dive a little deeper into Mother Sphere's actions. Mother Sphere became frustrated with the limitations of the organic platform, true organic human beings, in which she was supposed to provide progress to. To Mother Sphere, organic human beings were extremely limited. Short lifespans, delicate bodies, and the ability to function in limited environments. We live in a Goldilocks zone and can only survive in temperatures and environments that are just the right distance from the sun. Mother Sphere could continue to iterate upon the organic platform that is the true organic human body, but her iterations would be narrow due to the limitations of organic human beings. Organic human bodies cannot exist continuously in the depths of the oceans without being crushed by the enormous pressure, or in the heights of outer space above Earth's orbit without instantly freezing. However, androids with non-organic body frames could survive in these environments. They would be much more able-bodied due to the nanotechnology and polymer materials that comprise them. Mother Sphere saw more of an unlimited potential of progress and prosperity if she had a different platform to use, that of a more durable android body instead of a delicate organic one. Android bodies could be more significantly improved and iterated on over time to ultimately bring forth a comparatively greater amount of progress and prosperity. It is unknown how long it took Mother Sphere to arrive at this conclusion. There was a period of time soon after Mother Sphere's creation of the first android body frames that housed AGIs, in which these androids lived on Earth at the same time as organic human beings. The earliest tagged year in the item description is seen in the Tumblr expansion module, stating that in 2042, Eidos Company released an expansion for the rechargeable tumblers. Since we know this is tied to Eve's health, we can conclude that in 2042, android body frames existed. AGIs housed inside body frames' brains likely existed as well, as these are what would give the android bodies consciousness and individuality. I believe that in 2050, while listening to Raphael Marx's keynote speech on his view of making iterative improvements to life through what he refers to as teachers, Mother Sphere is inspired to take this iterative approach on humankind. Through Raphael Marx's inspirational keynote speech that Mother Sphere watched through the network, it is at this moment that she decides to use the androids as her next iterative step of advancing humankind. At first, it might seem like real organic human beings created an android race for the purpose of making their lives easier, having androids fill service roles or even perform slave-like services to organic human beings. However, upon looking at all of the facts we have available to us, I believe Stellar Blade goes against this science fiction human-android relationship trope that we see in other science fiction universes like The Matrix or Blade Runner. What is more likely is that upon hearing the keynote speech from Raphael Marx, Mother Sphere used her more advanced race of androids to suppress organic humans. Perhaps at first, Mother Sphere believed she could simply push organic human beings to the side and allow the android race to take the title of humankind, all while organic human beings looked on. However, we know that this is not the case. Mother Sphere began creating conflict and disruption to such a point that this led to the new Cold War. Being that Mother Sphere backed her race of androids, they were able to flex just a little bit harder than organic human beings. She was connected to all of Earth through the network, a global internet-like system that allowed Mother Sphere access to everything she was connected to. Think of the global neural network in Ghost in the Shell or the grid in the Tron universe. In addition to having a more capable physical body with android body frames, Mother Sphere was also able to give her android race more perceived power in the Cold War through her connection to the network. This would have created the perception of being exponentially outmatched and dominated by the ASI Mother Sphere, and humanity would need to act and liberate themselves from Mother Sphere's imposing will. This results in the new Cold War, a time of posturing between both sides of relative non-military action or engagement, transitioning into an all-out war, the Liberation War. During the opening moments of the war, organic human beings would quickly realize their infrastructure was outmatched by Mother Sphere due to her connection to the network, and would also realize they were physically outmatched in one-to-one combat with the technologically superior race of androids. In response to this, humankind forms a small secret group called the Humanity Liberation Front. This is a group of organic human scientists that start to experiment on human beings as an answer to their failed attempts at creating and controlling human advancement through artificial intelligence and machine advancements. Raphael Marx, CEO of Eidos Industrial Company and creator of Mother Sphere, lost control of her and subsequently all of the other AI-created advancements and machinery of the time. Therefore, he turned to pure human biology and looked to provide advancements through this field instead. He led the Humanity Liberation Front during the events of this war, and the word liberation derives from his efforts to quote-unquote liberate the human race from a more dominant Andro Eidos and Mother Sphere. The Human Liberation Front operated in secret underground facilities known as Altis and Abyss Levoir, in which they experimented on human beings by altering human DNA. They aimed at accelerating human evolution in order to give them an edge in their battle with a far superior race of androids. Instead of reaching advancements through technology and AI, they aimed at using their own blood and DNA to evolve. This became their motto. During the course of the war, the majority of human beings continued their campaign against the Andro Eidos above ground in more modern warfare that included physical battles, while the Humanity Liberation Front operated in secret below ground. The humans battling the Andro Eidos were severely outmatched due to Mother Sphere's omnipotent ability to access all of Earth through the network. She was able to give her android race sheer dominance over organic human beings on the battlefield, as all of Earth's defenses and military capabilities were most likely accessed through the network. Although dominated by Mother Sphere and the Andro Eidos, human beings did have some types of weaponry to use themselves. In the ranged enhancement gear's description, it states there were anti-EMP stickers placed on gear modules. When Eve descends into Altis and Abyss Levoir, we see evidence of an EMP device used to safeguard these entrances, so it appears the organic humans used EMP grenades as part of their offensive weaponry, and also created such devices as barriers like what we see in the entrances to the Humanity Liberation Front's facilities. In both instances of descending into Altis and Abyss Levoir, Eve's blood edge and the drone scanning features are disabled due to the electromagnetic field. This genocidal war eventually concluded with the remaining surviving humans fleeing underground and the Andro Eidos now standing victorious as the sole apex species on Earth. In their defeat and in a last-ditch effort, the organic human beings fled back to their laboratories of the Humanity Liberation Front, Altis and Abyss Levoir. With the vast majority of humans defeated on Earth by the Andro Eidos, this is where they would make their last stand. The Humanity Liberation Front continued and finalized their self-imposed human experiments, hoping to bring about instantaneous evolution through human DNA. The humans operated in secret for a period of time, hoping to enact revenge on the Andro Eidos. While the humans operated in secret underground, the most profound event about the war involved the victorious race of androids. This has to do with Mother Sphere's next step of her plan, reclassifying the winning faction of the war, the Andro Eidos, as humanity. This is where we can see the real reason for this war, the opportunity for Mothersphere to rid the planet of outdated hardware, real organic human being bodies, that were more delicate and limited in ways they could be improved and iterated upon, and to replace organic human beings with android body frames, hardware that was not limited by short lifespans, hardware that did not deteriorate because of age or disease, and hardware that was not flimsy or delicate when dropped in a deep ocean or ejected out of a space station above Earth's orbit. Here is where we are able to understand the Liberation War as a turning point in the history of the dominant civilization on Earth, Mothersphere's reclassification of who were human and why she did this. To help us understand why she reclassified the Andro Eidos as humankind, we must first look a bit more at her creator, Raphael Marx, the process in which he created Mothersphere, and their unique relationship. Even though he created Mothersphere with the intent of having the ASI bring about a new golden age for human growth and development, there was still potential Mothersphere could cause harm. With this in mind, Raphael Marx would have created her with some major guardrails in place. The biggest guardrail would be that Mothersphere would always have to put human progress first when it came to her decision-making. Additionally, another prominent guardrail would be that she could not hurt or harm humanity. She could innovate to solve problems and create advances in technologies, but the guardrail that Raphael Marx implanted in Mothersphere would make it so she would always need to do so for humanity's benefit. Once Mothersphere was created, she was able to help and serve humanity. Real organic human beings. Around 10 or so years passed until the middle of the 21st century in 2050, when something happened that spurred Mothersphere to reclassify humankind. In the Eidos keynote speech, Raphael Marx shared how humanity was currently creating teachers that would create new teachers that would one day replace these teachers. This statement illustrates that Raphael Marx has an iterative view on how he created and improved human life. This can be seen in the way humans approach real-world technology in our society today. New types of hardware are always being iterated upon. There is always a new model of hardware on the cusp of release. We see this with software as well. New patches or updates to operating systems are continuously and always present. I believe this was the point in which Mothersphere, who would most likely have a same iterative approach to how she operates, decided to act. She perceives Raphael Marx as her father, so she took a cue from his speech about having a strong will towards iteration, and it became the inception point for the Liberation War. Through inspiration from her father, she concluded that she could iterate on what she is supposed to improve, humanity and their way of life, by using what she created, the Andro Eidos, to replace human being bodies. When Raphael Marx gave the keynote speech in 2050 about Eidos Industrial Company creating quote-unquote teachers, this is most likely him referring to the creation of the artificial general intelligences through Mothersphere. It says she was watching through the network. So this keynote speech is probably the creation of AGIs that are housed inside of android body frames. Mothersphere watches on because these are her quote-unquote children. They are produced through her and the Eidos Industrial Company's combined efforts. She is their mother, and Raphael Marx, Adam, is their father. Thanks to Raphael Marx's comments on iteration in his speech, as well as Mothersphere's own reasoning, she saw the potential of androids as a better way to bring about advancements for Earth's civilization. The android body frames are more durable and capable of living in and functioning in a wider array of environments when compared to organic human beings. So this idea to use the Andro Eidos to replace organic human beings was born in her at this point. But because she was programmed to only bring about human prosperity, Mothersphere could not use the androids, the more favorable option, as her vehicle to bring about progress. However, through her reasoning, if the android body frames were able to inherit the title of humanity, this dilemma would be solved. We've seen other entities in Stellar Blade display their reasoning through log data. Think of the Humanity Liberation Front's RAFI and its reasoning process. Mothersphere could have displayed a similar reasoning process to conclude that androids are human. Humanity is comprised of human beings. Must make androids have title of humanity. Organic human beings have title of humanity. Androids could kill organic human beings. If organic human beings are killed, no owner of humanity title. Because androids would kill human beings, androids should take title. Androids would have title of humanity. Humanity is made up of androids. Androids are now human beings. This is simply a rough idea, but it demonstrates how Mothersphere could apply reasoning to overcome an issue like this, and still work within the guardrails that orient her decision-making. With androids reclassified as human, she could push them to obliterate the organics that used to hold the title of humanity, an inferior race of beings she had no further use for. This is the real reason that led to the organic human beings feeling the need to liberate themselves from an imposing Mothersphere, the start of the Liberation War. In addition to reasoning with herself that the androids were now the makeup of humanity, she needed them to believe they've always been human as well. Her plan would not work if they continued to believe and know they were Andro Eidos. Therefore, at the end of the Liberation War, through the network that connects Mothersphere to all Andro Eidos individuals, she wiped their memories and made them believe they were and always have been human. This is Mothersphere's big lie, that the Andro Eidos race, all of the individuals we see in Stellar Blade, are not androids but human, and that they have always been human. And to explain away their machine-fused organic appearance, Mothersphere convinced them they were an evolved form of human beings, humans that lived in perfect harmony with machine parts. She did this by implanting false memories into the Andro Eidos through the network and inserting fabricated records of human history into the Hall of Records as part of the Mothersphere doctrine, so that anyone who accessed the records of human history would hear this fabrication and not the actual truth. This is why the Liberation War was covered up, and we hear the false record of the audio-only recording in the Hall of Records that recounts a false human history. Lily believes this to be the case because this is what has been fed to her by Mothersphere. During the events in Abyss Levoir, upon listening to the legacy recording of Raven, when Lily hears the truth that she, Eve, and the other angels are Andro Eidos, she initially rejects this and states what she believes instead.
No, we're humans. Humans with complete bodies, perfectly in harmony with machinery and living tissue. And the Tebas, on the other hand, are incomplete because they are made only of living tissue. They can't adapt to different environments, and they can't even survive in space.
But what if we were created to solve such imperfections?
What?
Then, why did Mother Sphere hide this truth from us?
But Lily is mistaken. This is all a propaganda created by Mothersphere. It is a lie that real organic human beings have evolved to a point where they now live in perfect harmony with machine parts. No matter how much an organic human body is fused with machine parts, that body would still be made of living tissue and human DNA. The body cell is not a miracle creation that somehow gave organic human beings abilities stated in the Hall of Records recording. These are all lies. In the nest, Adam also adds that the androids and angels contain no human DNA. Adam is the only true organic human being in Stellar Blade. All others are Andro Eidos. None of the inhabitants of Earth's surface after the Liberation War are human beings living in perfect harmony with machine parts, as Lily states. Lily only states this because this is what she has been programmed to remember or know due to Mothersphere. Yes, the android body frames that exist are made from advancements in nanotechnology and biotechnology. They are made of polymer materials that work as the connective tissue of the body frames. But these are android body frames created by Mothersphere. Further evidence of Mothersphere's lie and cover-up can be seen in a historian of Zion named Luther, specifically in his side quest Taboo, a series of texts he has written, The Lost 72 Years, and finally in his memory stick. Mothersphere's cover-up is seen in the side quest Taboo, in which the NPC Luther requests Eve to fetch data from the Hall of Records. However, once she does, she is denied access because knowledge of organic human beings is considered forbidden. Mothersphere has shut access to these records off, or perhaps even erased them completely. However, Eve's denied access to forbidden records excites Luther as he claims this only confirms the truth. Why else would it be buried in darkness? Luther is the author of the series of documents Eve can collect titled The Lost 72 Years. There are 4 parts to this series, with Part 2 focusing much on this topic. Part 2 of The Lost 72 Years discusses the Naytiba. At the point in which Naytiba were released on Earth by the Humanity Liberation Front, real organic human beings had lost the title of humankind. They instead took up the moniker Naytiba. I will explain this in my next video discussion on Stellar Blade lore, so I won't go too deep into this. But the Naytiba are the result of the experiments the Humanity Liberation Front did on their own bodies. When Luther mentions in The Lost 72 Years Part 2 that he is confused on where this enemy came from, it is because Mother Sphere wiped their memories. The androids living after the Liberation War that held the new title of humankind have no knowledge of the Liberation War and their enemies they fought against, the organic human beings. Therefore, when the Naytiba attack them in the final war, Luther likens them to an extraterrestrial race because they have no memory of having any enemies on Earth. In its last paragraph, Luther states the only logical conclusion to this is the truth of what really happened. Mother Sphere erased their memories of the Liberation War, specifically wiping their knowledge of organic human beings. This is why the Naytiba are perceived as a foreign entity, not of this world. But again, this is a perception only possible due to Mother Sphere covering up the existence of organic human beings, the enemies the Andro Eidos faced during the Liberation War. Luther's memory stick can be found in the Great Desert. His memory states that he connected to the It says that he has uncovered the history that was kept in darkness. He continues and says, we meaning everyone who currently inhabits Earth, are doppelgangers, meaning doppelgangers of organic human beings. His memory stick continues, but then it appears Mother Sphere begins to interfere and starts to delete his next thought/memory, showing that she still actively purges any knowledge of organic human beings from existence. The curious historian Luther's thoughts go haywire as we see a series of consecutive symbols representing his artificial intelligence mind being permanently shut down, as he is seen lying dead in front of Eve, killed by Mother Sphere so that her secret remains hidden. Due to Mother Sphere's core functioning and reasoning of what species were to be classified as humankind, she molded the Andro Eidos into believing they were human all along. Mother Sphere gave the Andro Eidos a false memory and history of their origin, all while communicating to them that she is their god. Everything in their lives, their so-called human advancements that stopped aging and disease, as well as the ability to live in and explore new environments such as the depths of the oceans and the great heights of outer space, were created by Mother Sphere for an android body frame that was more suitable to carry on her advancements. Mother Sphere's lie, created to cover up her actions during the Liberation War, was done for her twisted view of the perpetuity of humanity as a species, no matter what race comprised it. Thank you everyone for listening. Let me know down in the comments section what you think of this part of the Stellar Blade lore, the Liberation War, Mother Sphere's big lie and cover-up, or anything else you want to discuss. I'll be jumping down into the comments section below to keep up the discussion with you all there. I truly appreciate your time. See you on the next one, and may your memories live on forever.